casted in blind today, at least not in game 2. There is few options that could take priority here. It feels like it will just be the Zeri yet again, able sticking to what's been working as a point of pride, it feels like at this point, as now just the Lucian with the Zeri combo for Abel has been their tried and true. Gotta think it's gonna be the Nami that comes through for WE. Maybe even another setup tool like the Vi yet again that was working out for them.
I think Abel played the lane relatively well. He was avoiding a lot of those ganks from Heng, and then they were able to scale into the late game. So it's just going to be a fair trade for these two teams. Once again, Ryze gonna go to Shanks this time around though. I think this Ryze, when it does come to the late game, he is able to provide so much, I guess, macro pressure with that Realm Warp where they can even potentially backdoor. But Vi, with the Zeri and Yuumi this time, it's definitely going to help them in the early game.
I think the combo just ridiculously strong, obviously. Now jungle, we have a bit of a trade. Aki will be piloting the Vi this time around, but the Ryze went over to Shanks. He's not going to have his tried and true Cassiopeia to go to. It will be just this part to the puzzle that worked out very well for Creme and OMG in game number 1.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they're going to look to either ban out the counters for the top lane, which is going to be Biubiu's lane with the K'Sante being available. Once again, I don't expect an Udyr ban just quite yet. I think he was quite he was dealt with in the mid game. Says Yone gonna get taken off just in case Biubiu does lean towards the Udyr does get banned. Oh, the ego's been dropped and Biubiu can't lane against the Udyr as K'Sante. That just means WE is looking for that K'Sante blind once again. But OMG responds with that ban.
That's so funny. That is, Biubiu's like, nah, fam, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. But now we got to look at the second phase. We've obviously had big focuses here for both sides. The Poppy, so it's just gonna be a trade of junglers from game number 1, this time on opposite sides.
Yeah, Poppy going towards WE this time. However, I don't think it's going to do as well. You only see the Vi coming out of, oh my god, with the Yone and locking in, and the Rumble.
Shanji's pick, the Rumble. Man, I love that we're getting all the staples here, but Shanji will be bringing back the Rumble into the fold. And you'll love to see it paired up with the Yone from Creme. There's so much carry potential between these solo lanes.
OMG is cooking something up for tonight, definitely, and they aren't telling anyone the secrets that they have for the recipes. Rumble for the top lane. And Yone, we have seen Yone quite a bit, especially in the LCK, but it's often into the Kassadin, because they believe that the Yone does relatively well and it also offers slight of AP and AD damage when it comes to the team comp. But Renekton is going to be Biubiu's response. I know that he is that Renekton player of LPL. I believe he has at least 46 games on Renekton throughout his entire career, and he's very comfortable on this champion. But in top lane, it just looks like comfort versus comfort.
Yeah, I appreciate that Biubiu is willing to take this matchup and do it. Love to see this though for Shanji. Second most played in competitive, almost a 64% win rate on the a big point of pressure going to come out for OMG on this top trio, leaving Abel PP God to their own devices. It is OMG versus WE game number 2.
As we approach game 2, I want to switch things up a little bit. Electrocute on the Nami. This has not been a thing since 2022, and for very good reasons. It was way too broken paired with the Lucian, where the E just procced the Electrocute from just one combo of Lucian, where the Nami didn't even have to press W for it. But PB got responding with the Guardian. Maybe he predicted that Lwandy was going to go such an aggressive room page, and they're just trying to survive lane.
And speaking of lane, I do want to nitpick this mid lane matchup. I think obviously it was such a big focus for us in terms of where we wanted to see carry come out. It was this mid lane and then bot lane, right? But to see Creme and Shanks going at each other, and now Creme picking out the Yone into the Ryze that he was picked up last time around, how do you expect this early laning part to go without that influence from the junglers?
Without the influence of the jungler, well, I think the Yone is going to have a lot more free time in this mid because he is going to spike a lot earlier compared to this Ryze. A lot of freedom, and especially Creme, he has been that standout player for oh my god, especially in the last week where he was a huge contributing factor towards that series win up against LGD. What a trading already coming out of Hope, but this Lucian pick on Hope once again, I think he did really well for game 1 and they let it open once again. But now with the Poppy in hand this time around, I think the dice is just going to get easier with the Hex Flash available.
I wonder how that pathing is going to kind of affect that as well. And I would like to see kind of that early aggression from either side, honestly. I mean, we saw it work out for OMG a little bit more so last time around, but it was bearing the brunt of that for WE that really went their way. And I think Shanks on the Ryze will provide obviously that level 6 mark with the realm warps, the side lane pressure, things like that. But until then, it's about Heng and Aki finding setup, and Heng wants to get the early advantage in one of these solo lanes and maybe even looking to aggress his own right onto Aki.
Even though Biubiu is getting hard pushed in by Giga Chad Shanji once
It's
again,
so
look
good.
at him. You just can't play the lane, but Heng is right around the corner, so maybe they can just look to pick off this Rumble that is way too far up in his lane while the Vi is not around.
They're gonna wait a good while. Shanji's crashing this in. Heng just around the corner. This would be a big setup. As Shanji gets the ward down. The gank will not, maybe. Oh, nope. He was duped into false sense of security. Biubiu getting very, very low. Shanji gets the damage, but not enough. And Heng cleans up the kill. First blood for Team WE.
Really well played from Biubiu. He was able to bait Shanji into taking that duel, and Poppy dodging the ward perfectly in the bush. Unfortunate ward, I guess, from Shanji. He could have placed it into the bush and that entire gank wouldn't have worked. But really well played from the side of WE. Now Biubiu might have a better time in that top lane instead of getting constantly shoved in.
Creme taking a little bit of extra damage at the trade mid. Shanks a little bit low on mana there, but it's a beautiful start for WE. Getting the oppression that Shanji was already delivering to Biubiu, a little bit of a stopper, and it looks like that stopper is going to continue. Shanji, no way expecting Heng to have just been waiting up here. And guess what? You pick your comfort. Well, that gives you a target on your back. And now Shanji, with that flash, will make it out, but damage already done. Summoner spell burned.
He had the flash save from the first gank, but now with the second game being gank being chained up back to back, this Poppy's gonna go again.
He's going back. Heng.
Oh no!
Like, do you really just not like Rumble or what? Shanji saying I can't do anything, throws his hands up as he goes down, and it is Aki who just has to watch as his top laner is put down yet again.
Look at the wave that Shanji is losing. 3 being built up. Aki does get to pick it up, but this Rumble pick already being down 2 kills. Especially when you want to be ahead with those items for the mid game. It's just looking so bad for the side of oh my god. At least Abel's having good time because this time they're not the ones getting camped.
Indeed, bubble going to be dodged out of. Another A plate goes down. They have a 10-11 CS lead right now as well for OMG on bottom side. So the strength is definitely there to play through for later on. Lwandy and Hope really want to try to find something here as they stop the back. Heal comes out for the speed. Bubble dodged out of from Abel. PP God blocking a little bit of damage. The piercing light does go through, but it'll be a back coming out from OMG with a little bit of catching up to do for Hope.
This is a different WE. We usually see Heng always playing towards Hope and just letting Biubiu sack it in the top lane, but this time maybe after the game 1 performance and how Shanji was able to just take over the lane, he was like, nah, if you're not coming top lane, I'm just not gonna have fun, and I want to be having some fun in at least playing this Renekton pick, which is his signature champion.
And appreciate that we've seen this kind of breadth of play from Shanji as well throughout last year, obviously now coming this year, not shying away from taking out his comfort when it's most needed. Aki will just walk straight into Heng. Hello there. How do you do? And Heng backing away right afterwards, just having that pressure to try and get this scuttle crab.
I wonder you might be able to really rotate to this fight if Aki decides to fight it. You do have the Yone pushing in. Biubiu having his lane pushed up. I guess that pink ward doesn't see the ward in the river. It's like slightly off, but Poppy's backing on a ward.
Oh. Shanji doing a lot of damage on the Heng there. Not level 6 just yet. Biubiu was ready to go just in case Shanji came down a little bit too hard. But with Aki hovering on the other side of the map, the reset coming out from Heng, I want to go to at least set up for the late game here. And looking at, I know we're a little bit off that. Oh, Dominus actually got popped here as the level 6 mark for Biubiu is there. Again, Shanji not having the flash is going to be a little difficult. But do we see WE opting into a lot of the scaling factors like the dragon stack, and we saw them put so much emphasis into last game? We've seen no focus around there with no real warding to come up.
Yeah, I mean, this time the tables have flipped. All the attention is going towards Biubiu, where he's going to have constant push up against this Rumble. So maybe they switch up the game plan and they play towards the Herald and they break this top tower straight away. So it frees up the Renekton to really play into the Zeri Yuumi in these huge team fights.
A little bit of setup coming the way of OMG's bot lane. Cease and desist onto Hope. He does not have level 6. He has the exhaust, but cleansed immediately out of Hope. In some trouble now. That's enough damage from PP God to get the kill. And OMG are now on the board. 1-2. Realm Warp now coming in for Shanks.
No,
WE
Shanji
will not be left out of the fight. Shanji, he'll be taken down. The tower shot, trade back. Shanji, baby, gets 1 for 1.
Not the worst for Shanji. Gets a bit of a revenge kill onto Biubiu. But of course, so many summoners being burnt in that bottom lane where Hope doesn't have the flash available anymore. Vi's gonna pick up this dragon. But like I kept saying, the map is completely flipped where Shanji is just getting dumpstered by the amount of rotation that is going towards his top side. Well, we can take another look. Vi does hit 6 because the Poppy has been so active around the map while she has just been clearing. Hope does have the flash available, but the Vi ult connects. And it doesn't matter because everyone burns the flash and follows up with the amount of damage they have available. Top lane, Shanji does go for the ultimate onto the wave where it will free him up some breathing space. But I believe the Ryze was tanking the entire time. And Heng was a little bit late on play, but I wonder why Biubiu was tanking it when Heng got the kill.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward transition there in the end. The damage profile just coming out as soon as the aggro was dropped by Shanks. But now we got to come to bear with what we have. We have a 2-0 Heng for WE, very strong. Biubiu feeling very confident now against the 1-3 Shanji Rumble. And it seems like Aki is now going to have to put a little bit of at least water down this top side a little bit, because right now it's on fire for WE.
Yep, the Herald is in Heng's pockets, and if you don't drop it towards Biubiu this game and let him carry on this Renekton when he's this ahead, then it's going to be a very questionable game.
Aki will just go across the mid lane there, going into the vision game of WE. We see the all-in from Creme onto Shanks. He's still pretty tanky. About to look at having that Roa completed in mid lane. We'll see Lwandy fight for the jungle, or at least the vision in the tri-bush here. A lot of hovering from both junglers in this mid lane, and it looks like actually WE taking a little bit of the aggressive stance here between the two, and actually do a good job of clearing out that vision as Heng now putting a little bit of antsiness into Aki.
Heng is just being a Giga Chad this game. He's had enough from last game where he was constantly being the one that pushed in. But this mid lane has always been a handshake. Maybe Heng can come here and roughen things up a little bit with the amount of items that he has available from the top lane fight.
Is there an Australian saying for antsy? Anticipation? Antsy? A-N-T-S-Y?
I don't know, mate.
No? Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to research that one a little bit later on. A little bit of damage there, but jumped out of by Abel. Both junglers were hovering around here, but not going to find anything there just yet. Again, we had that little bit of early aggression, a little bit of early movement from the junglers, but I think we've seen both times around now, once we get past that 10-minute mark, they're okay kind of taking their time here, getting these full clears out for both sides. And now with a 30 CS differential in the jungle for Aki, the next steps feel a little bit easier for OMG when the next dragon comes up, Rift Herald, things along those lines.
Yeah, we do have the flash being not available for Hope due to the gank from earlier. So I want to see Aki being a little bit more aggressive when you do have that ultimate available, because Shanji is losing so much in this top lane. Without the TP, he's just missing waves and waves of experience. So unfortunately, Ignite, he was trying to win the 1v1, but the lane turned out to be a 1v2.
It did indeed. That's always a feels bad, man. But it does seem like Aki does not want to give away any of this vision control in front of the Dragon Pit with 1:30 until the second one does spawn. Hovering this bot side of the map is Lwandy and Heng showing up, with Terrell also utilized by WE to get a charge off.
We need to highlight that this Rumble, compared to the Renekton, doesn't have that TP available for this Dragon that will be spawning in 1 minute. So unless Shanji decides to sack even more CS by rotating earlier across map, then these teamfights are looking so difficult for Oh My God, because you're dealing with a level 11 Renekton. Oh, 9, sorry, 9.
Numbers, you know. What I always say is don't do math.
Covered up, my bad.
Yeah. In actuality, though, I mean, first items will be coming online. They are coming online already, right? Biubiu already having the Gore Drinker there. But the big thing for me is that it feels like Aki is okay taking these next steps, waiting a little bit longer, right? Shanji is definitely out of that top lane matchup, but Shanji can make a difference in these team fights. And I think that's the big kicker when Shanji brings his Rumble to the table.
He really needs to look for these picks in mid lane. Just dropping the ultimate on anyone that doesn't have that flash available or CC can be an angle.
They really wanted Shanji just showing his face now as the dragon is spawning. Biubiu putting work into that tower. You said they might not need to get that roam down. Shanji ended up coming down to the mid lane, leaving that tower down, and now the dragon in the eyes of OMG. But WE want to contest maybe a little bit. Decide to walk away and let Biubiu take the side lane tower.
This lane is just so unplayable for Rumble now. With the Gore Drink available for Biubiu, it doesn't matter that you have the Ignite, right? You're down an entire level, and also the Mythic available being for Biubiu. It's just, you can't win the 1v1 unless you get some jungle attention, but I'm afraid even if Aki goes, it's gonna look really tough because Biubiu does have the potential of 1v2 with just how strong he is.
And I, especially like for these setups later on, you were talking about the TP availability, so Biubiu will be able to have side lane pressure and join team fights. Again, something that Shanji will not have available to him. I think that's another big important piece when we're looking at the objective setups and things coming along. That will be a crucial piece to the puzzle. We do have another Rift Herald coming up here as well. WE with a lot of item completions, having their duo of Hope and Lwandy complete their mythics, are at a power point.
Yeah, everyone's having their items coming online. The Herald was dropped for Hope to make up for that little bit of gold that he was missing while Heng was playing towards his top side. But my eyes on how Biubiu plays this team fight if Oh My God decides to take it, because the flash is available.
I just saw that Heng has double winged moon plates. Love it. A little bit of speed there, I guess. Just going for that. And especially now that they have another objective down in the Rift Herald available for them, I wonder where they put this. If they just continue to try to put more resources in Biubiu, if they want to try and take down this outer tower in mid lane. Looks like the hover will be towards top, but at the back is coming through. Now culling was used from Hope in the mid lane just to get a little bit of damage down to OMG, but nothing coming of it just yet. And WE themselves now with a solid advantage, about 2,000 gold in the lead 15 minutes in.
Poor Shanji has been hovering this entire top side jungle the entire game because he just can't face off the Renekton. But I want to see Aki playing towards his Yone because he is your saving grace when it comes to the early game. Zeri isn't online just quite yet, and Creme is getting that experience and they've constantly pushed in.
They were trying to make a cheeky play down on bot side of the map, sneaking Aki into the alcove, but they don't get it, don't find it. Or at least WE don't fall for the bait. They will still be hovering around there. Yeah, they definitely feel like something kind of sus is going down here. Maybe starting to think about hitting that big red button, and they do. Shanks goes golden. Tongue is here, gets spun down by the final chapter. Creme has to go back, but aggression is the name of the game. And Aki on the Shanks is in some trouble, does get out. They are just so damn tanky. They don't go down.
Oh my god, decided to spend everything onto this falling where the Yuumi was attached to Vi, so I'm surprised that Abel's gonna be able to live this mid lane when he's up against the Lucian and Nami having everything available.
Should these Shanks come and join the fight in mid lane? Looks like Rift Herald popped to take this last, or this mid outer tower at least. That'll be a little bit hard. Abel, oh my goodness. Hope and Lwandy doing a lot there. A couple more auto attacks should make it so. It'll be second tower going over to WE and more gold in their pockets.
Dead Man's Plates once again for the Poppy. I do like it. It just gives that little bit of extra movement speed with the phase rush where you are able to follow up from the initial engage. But this time it's a bit different. Poppy isn't the solo engage. You have that Renekton available this time around where she won't be getting one shot when she is going to engage initially in these team fights. But with WE having so much map control and having the two outer towers of mid and top lane being down, it just frees up so much vision control, especially when it does come around to that Baron. But this third dragon, if WE is able to stop it, then they are able to just slow down the tempo of this Yone being able to scale into the late game so much better.
And I think the saving grace, at least for OMG right now, is that they have like 20 to 30 CS leads in 3 positions, right? And I think that is something to keep an eye on as the fights continue to drag on, and especially going into this next dragon, if there wants to be a contest over it. But it really is about these item completion at this point. Obviously, Night Harvester completed for Shanji, but he will not be able to join this fight, right? We've already said he doesn't have the TP, so all eyes on the 4v4 or the joining of Biubiu into these fights. Because there's no stun available for Shanji. And maybe there's a stun for Heng, he can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, Shanji has to make 2 very difficult choices. Either one, face the 1v1 against Renekton, which he won't be able to win, or he has to rotate to these team fights.
Flash Hung goes in, calling on top of it. Abel literally unable to move. PP God left out as well, like a cat in the rain. And it'll be Dragon to Dean WE.
With Rumble being this behind, Dragon, especially third Drake, oh my god, was definitely one of the potential win cons that could have saved them later on into game. So they were getting a bit desperate, but with having no vision control, with the amount of mid push that Lucian has provided in the past few waves, they're just not able to really walk in, and Poppy having that flash available just connects onto Abel, and you can't really run away as a Zeri.
Look at this, OMG. They got the tools. They're going down to Shanks. There's the equalizer across as well. The CC, Shanks is down. Also, Shanji taking down Hung in the side. He's got the Hexscape, but he's not going to take it. Flashing forward, Shanji gets the kill. Shutdowns coming across here. And Shanji picks up some much needed gold as Abel. I love it. He's going aggressive, and so is OMG, but they don't find exactly what they were looking for.
That's exactly the pick that you wanted, right? Playing towards the Yone, where he is going to be that stable carry for your mid game. Zeri doesn't have her items available just quite yet, but even the Rumble rotated. But can Biubiu handle Creme as they are the same level, or even just a little bit ahead for Creme? Shanji decided to sack everything and just drop everything for Shanks, and a lot of ultimates committed to the Ryze where he wasn't able to toss out too much damage. Heng not having flash available from that earlier dragon fight just meant that Shanji could 100% commit, and he picks up a 600 gold bounty, which can save him and bring him back into the game where, you know, you have that Vi ultimate available for these team fights. All you have to do is just press that ultimate to save the game once again.
Yeah, I mean, like we were kind of stating in draft, they do have a lot of that CC combo set up with Aki on the Vi, and now it's a lot of what Heng can do as that opposing Poppy that we saw Aki be so efficient with last time around, right? With those Keeper's Verdicts, you got to be on the ball for W if you want to get the setup, especially looking at how Hope and Lwandy approach these fights into Abel and PP God as time goes on.
Definitely wanted to see Biubiu use his lead where he will be able to just take over these team fights because of just the pure amount of the items he has online. But we're not seeing too much, although he dominated lane up against Shanji, where Shanji is finding these angles to sneak back into the game and picking up 1 kill, 1 assist, where he's slowly just salvaging the early game.
Yeah, still pretty far behind in terms of those item completions. Now OWE making a play,
Oh, no,
and he's going to be even
cursed
further
him.
behind now. Shanji, give a nice little thanks to Kitty for the caster crew.
Poor Shen. He's never gonna get a break this entire game, especially
No,
when
he's not.
Heng probably noticed that he used the flash ability. He's like, let's kill this guy. He just used flash on me, and they have punished him. But this Baron could be a sneak because you just have no vision on the side of. Oh my god. Definitely bait something here.
Naval gonna get out of that line of fire that Hope was putting down. As you said, they're trying to sneak in here. A little bit of same flavor with Shanks and the Cassiopeia last game. This time it's the Ryze. They are slowly but surely taking it down as WE commit here. Sad teacup. Zaki. I don't know if this is a steal angle, but Mine wants to go over 3,000. Aki going forward, trying to get in the pit. He's way too late, though. Way out of range. Goes in. Final chapter now. Maybe even catching out Lwandy. The keeper's verdict. The equalizer across. They found one. They get the Baron, but what did it cost? Everything in their head. Maybe they get taken down here as well. The Ultra Shock laser. The fire. Oh, it's not enough. Shanks gets out. He's so tanky, but they also lose Lwandy. One Baron buff down. The Baron enough for WE to say they came away with a positive, but a response for OMG nonetheless.
I'm sorry, Lwandy, but I would trade the fish over Baron any day of the week, especially when you didn't burn any summoners from both carriers of Shanks and Hope. That's an overall dub for WE. They unfortunately didn't have any vision control and just didn't notice that the Ryze and Poppy could sneak the Baron so fast, because Lucian was showing in mid lane. A little bit too late on the ultimate from Vi, and this Poppy just instantly shot Creme across the map where he wasn't able to contribute into the fight. But even with Shanji dropping his ultimate on 3 people, he's just so behind in items where it didn't matter too much, or at least burn a summoner spell.
Yeah, but you got to think what happens a little bit later on, right? He has completed the Shadow Flame now. We're getting the Hex Drinker now online for Biubiu as well. So obviously opting into that matchup for sure. We also got the IE just now completed for Creme. So as you said, they're behind. They're starting to get some of those itemizations online, at least for them. But WE do not want to give up the pressure they found, right? Heng is constantly looking for these catch-outs with this Hex Flash, as well as the strength that he's found with 3 kills already.
I mean, this Poppy is just collecting everyone throughout the entire game, where he has 2 items, while the Vi was just doing her camps the entire game. I just don't think when you are playing a champion like Vi, you should be prioritizing these camps over helping out the lanes, especially when the other side of the map, which is Shanji, is getting so devastatingly behind.
Yeah.
But it's okay. There's always a game
it's
3
working.
Copium.
Yeah. So I passed it over to you. There's the equalizer into this weird spot for WE. We'll make it out of there, though, but you see some of the response available at long range that OMG have. Heng looking back, pings now coming out from WE onto the dragon that is alive. Would be soul point for OMG, but trying to get to that point for at least the second dragon for WE themselves. Sorry, for OMG, rather.
The strongest member of Oh My God is Creme, but he's constantly being occupied by Renekton in his side lane, and I don't even think he can really duel him in a 1v1, but I think that's what's happening in the top lane right now. A little bit of a trade going on.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
a little bit more heavy-handed for Biubiu, it feels like.
Does have the stopwatch available, but I just don't ever see this Yone winning a 1v1 against Renekton in the side lane, and that's one of your main carries being occupied, where it's going to be a 4v5 or potentially a 5v5 if TPs are online, but Abel just hasn't hit his IE just quite yet for the amount of damage to pop up in these team fights.
We just got 3rd item completion collector for Hope on the Lucian. So interestingly enough, that itemization for Hope, who now finds Aki trying to take his jungler's chicky nuggies. He's not going to stand for that one. I guess he has to, since Aki had the smite. But nothing really left on the top side of the map for OMG to play for, besides the potentially overextending Biubiu, which is not going to come online. But I think that's where the control for WE has been so important as a cornerstone into this game for them. And Heng being the main contributor to that, right? And Heng himself, right? Young Miracles prospect for 2020. The names that have come from the Young Miracles LDL team, and to try and add his name to that list slowly but surely, I think he's become a really important piece of development for Team WE in 2023 now.
Yeah, he's definitely had two very standout games in the past. Well, this one including, and of course.
Maybe not last game. Maybe not as much.
He got done dirty by getting ulted away in the very end. But I think his early game was relatively well played. Unfortunate to go for a burger flip on the Baron. Don't go for burger flips. We don't like burgers here. We only like flipping, I guess.
What are we flipping then? Well, if it's not burgers, what is it?
I'm flipping a coin because I don't know how Oh My God is going to come back into this game.
Oh no! About a 5,000 gold difference here for WE. We did see some great decisiveness come alive for OMG last game that really helped turn things around for them. Maybe they'll be opting into that a little bit more here, but we see the gold opt-in as well. About 3,000 above Shanji is Biubiu, and I think that's obviously something that will be very difficult to deal with for OMG going forward.
Yep. Oh My God's entire comp is dependent on this Vi engage, and like we saw in the bot lane, how the Vi ultimate was chained up with a Rumble and Yone ultimate being followed up. But if we take a look at the itemization, we have 3 Zhonya's coming out of all the core members of WE. So even if you realistically do get an ultimate off on this Vi, you're not going to one-shot them unless it's timed perfectly where they're not able to react to this.
That reaction is in question here now as Creme caught out in some trouble. Fate Sealed gets him out of there though. Nice use of the ultimate and the flash. Means that Aki can come and try to stop any more of that sieging. I just saw Navori Quick Blades completed for Abel as well. So that'd be third item spike. And Shanji, a little bit of damage onto Biubiu. Abel trying to follow it up with that Ultra Shock Laser. Biubiu does not come away with another tower down. And OMG survive another day, but maybe not this top side.
This top side won't be surviving.
Oh my God, Abel's going. Oh, he gets stunned right into the wall. The equalizer's huge to separate the fight. Flashes are now coming out from WE. Shanji found the side lane. And what did we say, Kitty? Can they get them? Yes, they can. And WE are running for those hills as Biubiu. He caught out by Shanji. He's scared of Shanji now with that Ryze completed. He's going to pop that Dominus. Here comes Abel. Ultra Shock Laser. The damage from Biubiu is so big, though. He goes golden. Here comes Hope. There's Abel over the wall. Oh, no! They got left out. PP God's down. They don't have their healing. Biubiu's cleaning them up. Biubiu and Hope. The doubles. But Creme now gets his own. And it's Biubiu versus Creme for the world. Who's going to get it? Biubiu, the big old crocodilian.
That fight went on from a top lane tower to the mid lane tier 1. It went across the entire world. But ADCs are just juking it out with the skills that were being shot around. But honestly, props to Abel for engaging that entire team. But we see him flipping over the wall with the Yuumi. Absolute respect into the Poppy, getting instantly stunned. But the amount of damage from this 4v5 where the Rumble got here first, and Biubiu just was not here where they were lacking that front line, right? And then Biubiu comes here at the very end. Unfortunately, the Ryze ult was cancelled. But look how well Lucian and Nami plays this. So Biubiu is already being occupied with 3 of the members of Oh My God, but no one is focusing down Hope. Well, you're spacing everyone really nicely, and he gets the flash stun onto the Yuumi, which is a core thing that happened in this team fight. Biubiu is so unstoppable with his gold rings available as well, getting healed to half health once again. And this Yone in a 1v1 scenario just never wins against this Renekton.
I will say though, Creme is showing why this can be a scary pick in the mid lane a little bit later on, right? Having the GA now completed off of that fight really big. Communication errors, PP God coming out of Abel there at the last second as he's going over the wall. That's a different fight if PP God is still alive. And I think Abel plays that a little bit differently as well. So OMG on the cusp of finding a turnaround, but now they're so far down, it might not even be possible anymore as WE right in front of the Dragon Pit here. This would be soul point for either side.
Biubiu does not have the flash available, but he is an absolute menace.
Creme getting a lot of damage onto Biubiu. He's still tanking up so much. There's the equalizer to cut Biubiu off for the rest of the team. GA pop. Creme goes in. He has his GA pop. Now it's separating these solo laners. The bubbles, both of them are down. Engaged now from the backline. Aki finds Hope, but he can't get him. And now you have on the backline themselves. Shanks flashing forward. Shanks goes golden. And WE, they find a double. And they find everything from OMG in front of the Dragon Pit. PP God down. And an ace for WE.
Biubiu was literally holding up 4 people during that entire team fight where Creme was engaging by himself. Although it was a 1-for-1 trade from the very beginning, Shanks, Giga Chad flashes in and deals so much damage to 3 members of Oh My God and gets completely deleted without the Rabadons, might I add. So that's just how insanely broken Ryze is once you get to this late game. And just Heng being such a menace throughout these team fights as well, where the Zeri isn't able to pop off as she would have wished for, but very astounding win for WE.
That's gonna be a quick exit with the Hex Gates. I was about to say, does Heng complete the game without finding a mythic item? But we'll see if he's actually able to go ahead.
No.
Yep, looks like it's a completion. So had a lot of gold in his pocket there to go back, and I think as a whole, WE, they are so far in the advantage here with this 32 minutes going their way that it's just one more fell swoop of a fight and OMG are out.
This is the second time Heng has built Locket as a mythic for a jungle. I believe the first time was when I first casted actually, and it was on a Vi, and I wonder it was specifically on the Soraka. Very crazy things that Heng is trying to cook up in the kitchen. I think they actually won on the Vi Locket, so maybe this build just has some extra oomph to it, and we just don't know why yet.
It's looking like it, at least for now, for WE, but it seems like there's a lot of cooking going on right now. Maybe OMG's cooking not working out their way. Maybe they need to get some quality assurance there. But Shanji definitely trying to make a splash in this one with some of the picks we've already seen into this game. And it's hard to see next steps for OMG, but the pick outs, the catch outs, the scaling, it's definitely still in their corner. It's just a little bit further off than it feels like for Team WE, who are, like I said, one fight win away from winning the game.
Like I said, you want to play for those picks with the Vi ultimate, and you want to just drop every single ult available onto the person that has been picked off. But in a 5v5 sense, I don't think they have the damage to really deal with the Renekton and Ryze, who have all their items available.
Side lane tower goes down. Biubiu still a gigantic menace for OMG to deal with. The Keeper's Verdict channels here as now Shanks pushing in the mid lane, should be working on that inhib tower. As OMG need to try to find a play here if they want to get an engage. They got to get Aki onto a target with the equalizer down on top and the fate sealed. They'll go for it here. Equalize. Oh my God, he's so far away, but they get him. They got him. Is it enough damage? They got the carry, but they got to focus down Biubiu. Aki is all by himself. Shanji is doing so much AoE here as well. Creme finally rejoining the fight. Here comes Abel. Beautiful Ultra Shock Laser does not connect, and WE making the run for it. Looks like Shanks might be caught out here. Exhaust, cleanse. There you go. A little bit of lockdown not available. They don't have CC. They just don't, but they have the slows. They don't get Shanks just yet. Shanji making sure they don't give a trade back, and a kill goes to Aki.
These team fights are getting way too good for Oh My God. They're slowly seeking back into the game. Insane engage coming out of Aki. I believe the Vi literally flew onto the Lucian from 2 screens away with the Q and flash available. Yeah, even with the Rumble barely connected, but look at Aki. He saw that Ryze was still clearing the minions in mid-wave. Heng wasn't there. It was a 3v5 engage.
Oh my
and
God.
Hope also flashed away. I wonder he was just stuck in everything, so he got caught first. But Hope being killed straight away just means they don't have enough damage to really finish up the rest of the team of Oh My God. And unfortunately, they were just trying to run away, but you do have the Vi trying to catch up. And like I said, the Shanks just didn't have flash available from the previous fight. But really good win for Oh My God. The inhib is constantly providing that extra gold for the Yone and the Zeri to sneak back into the game. With Baron coming up in 30 seconds, if they pull that off once again, I think Oh My God can take it away with a 2-0 series.
Abel is getting scary. Like, Abel's about to be full build. Heng also caught out. Keeper's Verdict out. That's big, but Abel's not out of there. Biubiu popping the dominance. Here comes Creme on the backline. Biubiu maybe in some trouble here. Look how much damage that Abel is popping in as this poke comes through. WE a little bit hesitant to move away from the fight, but OMG back away first.
But what if they just sneak Baron right now?
True. They could, hey, we were talking about flipping. Well, now we're flipping Barons, maybe.
We need to take a look at the bottom lane, though.
Yeah.
We need to take a look at the bottom lane. Inhib is still down. Super minions are pushing in. So Oh My God is on a ticking time bomb to engage before their base gets over saturated with the minions.
Oh, flash over the wall. Shanks gets him. Equalizer needs to come out from Shanji. They don't get him. The flash does, though. That'll be a big tool used.
Oh, Shanks
ultra
is
shock
caught.
laser. Shanks is in trouble. Oh, Abel. He gets the shutdown equalizer on the side. Look how
The
much damage he's
equalizers-
doing now. Where's your damage now, WE? As OMG now Aki on the wrong side of the fight, but Abel is finally here. And Abel's able to get one back from the trade. It's 2 for 1, and OMG are doing it.
They managed to do it once again. Aki just has his eyes set onto Hope, and Hope doesn't have the flash available this time. It doesn't matter how far you are. Once the R connects, you just cannot escape. Rumble has to back to deal with the super minions in base, but it's just, how do you play these team fights while your Ryze is getting caught off straight away? Though Dragon is spawning, they can deny the Dragon Soul, which is what they're going to go for first, but Baron's also available.
About 20 seconds on that dragon. Looks like, I mean, the Hex Gates are going to mean that WE can get back onto the map quickly. They're not going to utilize those just yet. Wonder if they do want to contest this, as it hasn't even spawned just yet. You do have Realm Warp as well available for Shanks. A lot of strength now as well, as we're working on last items across the board for WE.
Come on. No shot. WE throws 2 games in a row. There's just no way. But it's looking so tough for the side of
Creme,
the catch.
Creme. He might just die here.
Settle
He
down.
has GA. Fate sealed out so they don't lose the cooldown. Dragon goes over. We're tied soul to soul point. Soul point to soul point. Now Bear, oh my god, it's just down. WE take the Baron off the cusp of the stop of the soul by OMG.
You need to run. They cannot opt into this 4v5, but unfortunately Creme gets caught earlier on in this, before this Baron, and the Baron gets becomes a free objective for the side of WE. Now with
They
the
found
amount of
Heng.
minions that they have.
Abel front
Creme?
to back. This is really difficult. That's a big choke point. OMG, they get WE's flashes out. Culling coming back through, but they've already gotten Hung. And Realm Warp isn't going to save
get
that
stopped.
stuff. Creme makes the difference. Abel is in trouble. He goes down, but WE, Biubiu, he's so big, but how big is he? Shanji has gotten 2. Biubiu's back from the dead, but can he make the difference in this 2v3? But it doesn't. Creme comes away with another kill. Maybe he finds another 2. And OMG, they've slammed through and crushed WE.
Shanji is landing these beautiful ultimates on 2 and 3 members of WE, where I think they just end here because of how many teamfights they've won in a row. I believe it's 3, even
20
with the
seconds
Baron
on
going
Heng.
against. But it's just, Shanji, although he got camped the entire early game, he makes it up with these teamfights, and his Rumble is definitely a staple in the LPL.
It will be him slowly going down to the minions here. Lasting damage done to a base of WE that has not felt the pressure all game
not
long.
ended?
And even down 7,000 gold, OMG are not done fighting.
The Creme gets a really nasty combo here, where in the choke of a Rumble in the jungle, it's just so insanely hard to play for the side of WE. And this amount of damage, Creme stops 2 people from the Ryze ultimate, and it's just so incredibly nice with the Mikhail coming in. Creme is just able to kill everyone. Biubiu not having enough damage. It is a Renekton in the late game, and he just isn't able to just force the amount of pressure that the Yone has in these team fights. I think, oh my god, could have ended. Although Poppy spawned, I think they could have ended.
They will have to try another attempt at it. The Creme plus PP God combo is just unstoppable. It is ridiculous. We are now on 6 items for the major carry. Shanks still missing his death cap, though, will be a big difference here as Creme and able to put out the damage for OMG in these fights.
One misstep is going to end up in the win or loss for both teams. But taking a look at the amount of summoners that everyone has available, Hope, Biubiu, not having those flashes available in these team fights, where if Vi gets onto your head, then you're just not going to be able to survive these team fights. Hope doesn't even have a defense. Oh, I mean, he does have the G available for the next fight, so it does give some leeway to WE. But even if you die in the GA, your teammates can't save you from the amount of damage that Rumble is putting out, especially with the Equalizer.
See, OMG are pushing up into the base now. Abel taking a big culling back. Creme also taking a lot of damage. They might have overextended here just a bit. As Shanks is back, he has the Realm Warp. if a cheeky play wants to come out from WE, it could make it, but Shanji has the equalizer. Looks like OMG just want to put the nail in the coffin here. There's no way, Kitty, that it happens like this twice in a row for W. There's no way that OMG have the grit and tenacity like they are showing right now to put WE out of a game that they almost had a 10,000 gold lead.
They're just stealing these wins away from WE's noses. It's just absolutely insane. Now the tables have turned and WE is in the losing position where they have to play safely. And they don't have the vision control in the jungle. But Ryze isn't here, so Biubiu gets caught.
They're going on to Creme, though. Creme right back into the fight, ready to go. Aki on the side, equalizer across. They're going for the engage. They found Biubiu. Biubiu can't do anything about it. He's down, and so goes Heng. So goes WE. Oh my goodness. They are actually pulling it from the brink, pulling it to a 2-0 victory, one step at a time.
They force a 3v5 while the Ryze wasn't there, because why would you protect a tier 2 tower? But this game stage is looking so doomed for the side of WE, where they don't have the Renekton and Poppy. They don't have their front line. So how are you going to play these team fights when you're just going to get one shot?
When we see OMG coming to bat like this, it just feels good. 7-2 for Creme, realizing the carry performances we've seen from him not that long ago. The disappointment for OMG last year and keeping the roster but not finding success with it. And we're finally seeing them kick into gear here in these games that should be just straight up lost. They are decisive, they are pinpoint in their accuracy, and now they find Soul for the Hex Soul.
Can hope, and I want to make a pick onto Creme here, though. It's crucial.
They're trying Creme. He is a Yone, has the Fate Seal out. He is safe for the time being. GA will not be popped, so that cooldown, big time available, and a big point for OMG to play around as well.
We are really going to the third dragon in this game, 43 minutes, and we also have 7 dragons being taken throughout the entire game. This is just an absolute long game. It's such a long game. I just think, oh my god, had angles to end, but they're playing so carefully because one mistake could mean that it's going to a 1-1 series.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get to 6 items for everybody, right? We just had Lord Doms completed for Hope's last item. Junglers, support's definitely lagging behind a little bit, but I love to see that Shanji is now just 1 item away from completion, right? You're getting this comp that OMG opted into coming online for themselves. They bearing the brunt of a lot of really tough times early on. Like I said, almost a 10,000 gold difference, but Baron being burned here. Oh, the keeper's verdict. Aki's still in the pit. Aki, he gets it for his team. He's still alive too. Creme's going in. Creme's on the back line. Equalizer too.
No one's touching Abel.
OMG. They're back though. The keeper's verdict is not there, but the steadfast presence is.
Abel
splashing forward, and OMG, they're wiping the board with Team WE, but can they? Shanji's still alive, and everybody falls. TP's into the bottom lane, and OMG are here to stay.
Abel showing up in these team fights, tossing out so much damage. Oh my god, decide to just absolutely dominate W2 games in a row. Let's
show that celebration, baby.
What an insane series. Oh my god, can just come back into incredibly tough start for the game. Oh, I don't even know what to say. This game was just so well played for, oh my god, especially later on into game. They just found so many angles for those 4v5s, 3v5s, where bit by bit they came back into the game and just saved the entire series.
Decisiveness, control, comfort. Those are the big words that come from this performance of OMG. We had the wackiest of top lane matchups, it felt like. Shanji just throwing everything he had and the kitchen sink at Biubiu. But the fact that we get Creme so decisive, the fact that Abel across this series on the Zeri had some of the most ballsy plays I've seen even since last year, and they executed on those plays and they found advantages. That is what stands out to me, and that is what is so beautiful about this win and this crushing defeat for WE.
Definitely.